SBTV.
So, how are you doing today?
I'm good, how are you?
I'm very fine, thank you. What are you up to?
Today I'm doing my first full-on day promo of Wild, SBTV A64s and styling meetings and all that jazz.
And is that like a normal kind of day-to-day thing that you have?
No, at the moment everything's kind of really different. Like yesterday the Glamour Awards, tomorrow we're doing The Voice, the first live show's on Friday. Then we'll be doing a summer show, which is like an hour and a half of singing and running around the stage and 50,000 people, and then there's a meeting, and then it's like running an empire of business. It's beautiful.
And you say the first live shows of The Voice, a lot of people don't realise, they don't know that it's pre-recorded. Like when I ask people to send me in questions, I was like, oh, why is Jessie wearing a wig every week? And they don't realise.
Honestly, if I was wearing a wig that much, I would have so many wigs. A lot of the time it was my own hair with extensions. There's a big difference between wigs and extensions. But yes, it was filmed last year. All the stuff for The Voice up until this Friday was pre-recorded in December and January and February. So no wigs, it was before I shaved my head. And yeah, first live show Friday, so I will look like this.
You've been supportive of your talent, for example, Vince Kid. Would you ever consider setting up a record label?
I've thought about it. I don't think I'd set up a record label, but I definitely would set up a management company, because for me that's more important than a record label. I actually think the way you're managed and the way your foundation is set and that is so important, that if that's right, then labels are managed a lot easier if you've got the right management. So I think if I was to take another step into the business, I'd definitely have a part of management with Crown.
And one thing that a load of managers have a problem with is kind of artists and their social media updates. Do you feel like you have to censor your Twitter and your Facebook of what you say?
I have never had anyone run my Twitter. I don't do my Facebook, but I do my Twitter and my Instagram. If someone else did my Instagram, that'd be weird. Just going to bed and my management's here taking a picture of me. I very much am someone that thinks that it's a freedom of speech. I do sometimes phone my manager and I'll say, was that a bit much? And they'll go, maybe. But recently I was quite excited that, well, it wasn't excited, but it was quite embarrassing that I was led to believe that I'd met the king in Morocco, and I hadn't. So I was told off because obviously it got back to the king that I'd said he was at my gig and he wasn't, and he was supposed to be somewhere in Morocco helping out like political stuff. So I had to put out an official Twitter tweet saying that I didn't meet the king.
Is that the first time it's ever happened?
Yeah.
But where someone's told you about your Twitter and then you had to like change your tweets or delete them?
No, that was me having to put out an official tweet saying I apologise for any of the confusion. In fact, I just met a man in a suit that was pretending to be the king. You're
doing a sold-out arena tour later on this year. Do you miss doing intimate shows?
Yeah, I do, but I love any type of show now. My life is definitely less about performing and more about meetings about performing or meetings about other stuff. So any chance I have to perform, whether it's to a group of 30 radio winners or 50,000 people in the stadium, I will give them everything. But I do miss the Scalas and the yeah, I do, the Brick Lane and like just the smaller stuff, you know. I really miss going to Notting Hill Arts Club. Yeah, I used to go yo-yos like every Thursday, like it was.
Go to rave or just?
Yeah, I would be there like in the middle of the floor, like sweating out my weave. Like, I didn't have weave. I had my own hair.
You see, this album, was it challenging to write, do you think?
Oh, this album was scary in the beginning. When I first started writing it, I was like, okay, what am I going to write about? Hotel rooms, flights. The things that make you are often taken away. You can't be as spontaneous and as free once you gain fame into your life without choice. So I really had to kind of find a way to make it make sense for myself. But once I got the first few songs out and it kind of started to make sense, I really started to enjoy the process and being free. And I decided the album cover yesterday, and the image is so the opposite of the last album. It's so clean and so honest and so open. And everyone that's heard the album has just been like, it's very positive, it's very light and big and anthemic, and I'm singing and holding back.
And so for this album, did you keep your hair shaved?
Yes.
Or is it, so that's gonna be stable for many years to come? Yeah.
I think I definitely have to remember that I'm probably only ever going to have a bald head once, and I'm only ever going to be able to make the statement that I did doing it for comic relief once. So why not make it a mark in my legacy and my history of music, and have it as the image that is all my promo for my album and the cover.
How important do you think it is for celebrities to raise awareness about these things, like Like what you did?
Like all these things. How important is it for all these things to be aware of, notice about things? I think that whenever you have light on you, I try and push it away to places that are dark, that need it. And I think that if you have the opportunity, when you know in your heart that young people, old people, insecure people, confident people are watching you, and they're going to listen to what you say, use it to the best of your ability and to the best of your morals and beliefs. Like, allow yourself to become somebody that made a point of something. So when I have realised that I had the opportunity to do that, I definitely took it. And I've raised thousands and thousands of pounds for charity without it being promoted on my Twitter or my Instagram. Because I don't do it to self-promote. I do it because I used to be the kid that needed me. Does that make sense? Like, yeah. So if I can be the girl that can raise a little bit of money for the different wards and hospitals and the kids that need it, then boy, if I've got time, I'm there.
Can you reveal to us any names on the album yet? Or is that like under?
You know what? It's funny because the moment, like, the album is vocally done, but production-wise and features and stuff, that's what we're working on right now. There's one feature that as I mentioned the other day, that I'm praying and hoping that there is a duet with Brandy. If it happens, woo! Woo child! Yeah, it will be like a dream come true for me, so we're working on it.
What does this album say about you, personally?
That I'm positive, that I'm okay to not be okay, for real. For real. I remember my mum saying to me, she's like, you didn't know who you were on your first album. And I kind of thought about it and I was like, oh, she's right. Like, I think it was me giving myself songs that reassured myself it was okay not to know myself. And in the process, writing songs like Stand Up and Who's Laughing Now and Mama Knows Best and Price Tag, in finding out who I was going to become. This album, I feel like a woman now. Like, I'm 25. I was 18 when I first wrote my first album, which is mad when I think about it. It's definitely more grown up. You know, I made a point, like, there's no swearing on the album. I want it to be something that my niece who's 6 can listen to and not skip a track. But I also want it to feel hard enough that people get the feeling, you know. I think I'm starting to see the foundations of the woman that I'm going to be forever, as anything.
Some proper.
But you know what I mean? Like, as a mother, like, I'm thinking about having kids, like, you know, and who I want to be for that, and everything that I'm doing, they're going to watch it. One day they're going to go on YouTube and they're going to see everything. So how do I want to come across to them? So all of those things are like in my world right now, which is weird, but
so your mum and dad prodded you to that. Would you say they're your inspiration for this album?
I think my mum and dad are my inspiration for allowing me to be fearless in what I feel and putting it into melodies and putting it into my music. And I think that's what's special about music, is having a moment, exaggerating it into a song and making it a story that other people can relate to and have it as therapy for themselves too. And
last one, what are you up to this weekend?
This weekend, first live show, The Voice. Saturday's Another Voice Day. Sunday, Summertime Ball. When everyone else is having a roast dinner kicking back, I'm going to be in Wembley Arena singing up my song. Wembley where? Stadium. I'm going to be at the arena. Everyone else is going to be at the stadium. And I'm going to be like, I'm in the wrong place. But at least I don't have a broken foot this time.
Yeah,
Yo, I'm Jessie J. Subscribe to SBTV to keep up to date and never miss out on any videos.
A young girl with a sexy shape, look like Jessie J. Then we escapade where it's extra shade. She made me want to give and I take like collection plates. Wow, all the awards, bras, cars, wall to wall was all a mirage. And I could lose it all tonight just to show the world I could do it twice. This is my life.